In this episode, we are going to combine the two shaders we have written in the last two episodes, so the vignette shader with the gradient shader. So the end result will look like this. We will have this gradient which goes from this blue to this green color vertically, and we will also have this vignetting in these corners. So every four corner has this vignette effect. So I created this combined.py file, and in this file I'm just importing the needed stuff, so the show base, also the load PRC file data, and also the shader class from the Panda3D.core. On line 26 I'm setting the shader input called resolution to the window's width and the window's height, so the self.win.get x size and self.win.get y size. And here on line 27 I'm setting this plane to use the my shader which we loaded here. And also when the window size is changed, so this event aspect ratio change will fire, and in that case when this event happens, we will call the self.win_resize method. And the self.win_resize or the win_resize method just sends the new Windows width and the new Windows height to the resolution uniform into the fragment shader. And here I'm just instantiating a mygame object and calling the game.run. In the vertex shader, I'm using GLSL version 330, and also I'm just setting here the vertex inputs, so the Panda will automatically pass the vertex inputs or the vertex positions to this vertex input called p3d_vertex. And one uniform, which is the model view projection matrix, and Panda will also pass the combined model view projection matrix to this matrix 4 uniform. In the main method, I'm just setting the GL position, which is a built-in GLSL variable, to the model view projection matrix times the p3d vertex. And let me run it. So Python combine.py. So we have now just the gradient shader, which we wrote in the first episode of this series. And let's go to the fragment shader, and here I'm also specifying that I'm just going to use GLSL version 330. Here I'm setting the uniform vector2 resolution, so this will have the values of the Windows width and the Windows height, so 1280 by 720. And this uniform is passed to the fragment shader through on this line, so on line 26. And I'm also specifying here that I'm going to use output or out of type vector4 called outColor, and this will set the fragment or the pixel output colors. And in the main function of this fragment shader, I'm just creating a pose or position, and using also the built-in frag coordinates that xy and dividing it by the resolution that xy. So this will be a vector2 divided by a vector2. And the out color is just the vector4 of red 0.3, green 0.5. The blue channel is set to position.y, so this position, and the alpha is set to 1. So I already explained this in the first episode. And now we are going to add to this fragment shader, to the main method or the main function, also the vignetting effect, and we are going to combine the two, the vignette with the gradient. Okay, so technically we can leave out the swizzling part from the resolution, because this is already a vector2, so we have here a uniform of type vector2, and we are dividing it by a vector2, so fragcord.xy. So we can just leave out here the xy, because this is a vector2 divided by a vector2, and it will work as before. So to actually have the vignette, we need the constants we have written in the last episode, so the outer radius, the inner radius, and the vignette intensity. And these are constants of type float. What we also need is one more constant of type float. So I will call it mix intensity or mix weight. And it is also of type float, and its name is mix intensity, and it is set to 0.55. Okay, so this is what we are going to need for the vignette and also for the combining or mixing the vignette with the gradient. And now in the main function, I'm just going to copy the vignetting code, what we have written in the last video. So this creates the vignette effect. And now we are going to combine these two, so the gradient with the vignette. I keep saying combine, but I also can say that we are going to mix these two. So okay, I'm just going to copy two more lines. So one line is a comment. So here we are going to combine or mix the gradient with the vignette. So we are going to set the color.rgb to the mix function, and the first vector is here and the second vector is here, and we are going to mix these two vectors by the mix intensity, which is set to 0.55. So the first vector is vector 3, 0.3, 0.5, and not position but just pose.y. So this creates here, this creates the gradient. And this is the red channel, this is the green channel, and this is the blue channel. And as a second vector to this mix function, we are going to add the color.rgb we created here. And we are going to mix these two. So this creates some kind of a linear mixing between these two vectors, and based on this weight or intensity, so mix intensity. And now we're just going to set the out color to equal to the color. And now let me, color. And now let me try it, and I think it should work already. Yes, as you can see now we have a gradient which goes vertically from blue to green, and we also have this vignette, so these dark corners. So that's all what I wanted to show you in this one. Of course, as usual, these codes will be uploaded to my GitHub, and the link will be in the video description. And probably in the next video we are going to continue by writing shaders for Panda3D. And in the next video I'm just going to create a waving flag or something like that type of a shader. So until then, thanks for watching and have a nice day.